Welcome back to Fairy Garden Discoveries. In the garden, growing doesn't happen all at once. Some creatures grow quietly, changing on the inside before the outside ever shows. This kind of change has a name, and it's part of how life becomes what it's meant to be. Pip hovered at the edge of the clearing, watching the older fairies practice their flying tricks. They swooped through the air in smooth loops, spinning and diving as if their wings knew exactly where to go. Some flew upside down for a moment before righting themselves with a laugh. Others landed so gently on leaves that the leaves barely moved. Pip's chest tightened. He lifted his own wings and gave them a hopeful flutter. "I can do that," he told himself quietly. He leapt into the air with determination. For a moment, he stayed aloft. Then his wings tilted the wrong way. Then he spun. Then he landed, straight into a bush. Pip tumbled out of the bush, leaves tangled in his hair and twigs stuck to his wings. He brushed himself off quickly, glancing around to see if anyone noticed. Then he tried again. He flew higher this time. He flapped harder. He focused more. But the trick still didn't work. His loops turned into wobbles. His landings came out crooked. He lost his balance just when he thought he had it. Pip landed last again. He folded his arms tightly against his chest. "Why is this so hard?" he muttered. Pip perched on a low branch and watched the others from a distance. Some fairies were already learning new tricks, adding spins to their loops and landing in pairs. Others flew past Pip effortlessly, laughing as they raced each other across the clearing. Pip's wings drooped. "I practice all the time," he said softly to himself. "So why am I still bad at this?" He kicked his feet against the branch, sending a few leaves drifting down. "It's not fair," he whispered. As Pip hopped down from the branch, something small and green caught his attention near the edge of a leaf. A caterpillar was inching its way forward, very slowly. It stretched. It slipped. It bumped gently into the edge of the leaf and stopped. Pip blinked. He crouched down to get a closer look. "Wow," he said, surprised. "You're not very good at moving." The caterpillar paused mid-wiggle and looked up calmly. "I know," it said. Pip sat down beside the leaf and let his feet dangle. "At least I can fly," he said, trying to sound proud. "You can't even crawl very fast." The caterpillar paused mid-chew and looked at Pip calmly, as if Pip had just said something interesting instead of unkind. "That's true," the caterpillar said, "but I'm not worried." Pip blinked. "You're not?" he asked. "Doesn't it bother you that you're bad at, well, everything?" The caterpillar smiled a slow, thoughtful smile. "No," it said. "I'm not bad. I'm early." Pip frowned, turning that over in his mind. "But don't you want to be better?" Pip asked. "Don't you want to fly? Or jump? Or do something impressive?" The caterpillar stretched lazily, inching forward a tiny bit before settling again. "I want to fly very much," it said. "But wanting doesn't make me ready." Pip tilted his head. "So, when will you be ready?" "When I've grown enough," the caterpillar replied. "When the inside work is finished." Pip looked down at his own wings. He wondered if maybe something inside him was still growing too. The caterpillar continued gently, as if it had been waiting to explain this to someone. "My job right now isn't flying," it said. "It's eating leaves, resting often, and growing slowly." "That sounds boring," Pip said. The caterpillar laughed softly. It can be, it admitted. But growing isn't always exciting on the outside. Pip thought about all the times he practiced flying until he was exhausted. Sometimes he wasn't learning tricks, but he was getting stronger. Maybe that counted. A few days later, Pip hurried back to the leaf. The caterpillar was gone. In its place hung something new, a quiet chrysalis, wrapped tightly and completely still. Pip hovered closer, careful not to touch it. "Did you go somewhere?" he whispered. The chrysalis did not answer. It didn't wiggle. It didn't speak. It didn't move at all. Pip frowned. "It looks like nothing is happening," he said. But he remembered the caterpillar's words about inside work. Pip visited the chrysalis every day. Sometimes he talked to it. Sometimes he just watched. Nothing changed. No cracks. No wings. No signs of progress. "This is worse than flying practice," Pip sighed. "At least practicing feels like doing something." He hovered nearby, resisting the urge to poke it or shake the branch. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar was changing completely, rebuilding itself from the inside out. But Pip couldn't see that yet. One morning, Pip returned and froze mid-air. The chrysalis was opening. Not quickly, not dramatically. Slowly, something pushed outward. Wings emerged, crumpled and damp at first. Colors shimmered softly in the morning light. Then, with a gentle flutter, a butterfly lifted into the air. Pip's breath caught in his chest. The awkward caterpillar was gone. In its place flew something beautiful. The butterfly circled once through the air, wings catching the sunlight in soft flashes of color before landing gently beside Pip. Up close, Pip could still see traces of the caterpillar he had met before, the calm eyes, the steady presence. But everything else was new. "I didn't practice flying when I wasn't ready," the butterfly said kindly. "I became ready first." Pip felt something warm spread through his chest, like a knot slowly loosening. "So, being bad at something," he said carefully, choosing his words, "doesn't mean I'll always be bad." The butterfly shook its head. "No," it said, "it means you're in the middle of becoming." Pip thought about all the times he had fallen, all the times he had tried and failed and wondered what was wrong with him. Nothing had been wrong. He just wasn't finished yet. Later that day, Pip flew again. But this time, he didn't rush himself into the air with clenched wings and held breath. He lifted slowly, feeling how his wings moved, noticing where they felt strong and where they still felt unsure. He practiced one small movement at a time, a gentle turn, a careful glide, a soft landing. When his wings grew tired, he rested without frustration. When he landed crooked, he laughed instead of groaning. His flying still wasn't perfect, but it felt different now. It felt lighter, kinder, as if he was finally learning with his wings instead of fighting them. Pip watched the butterfly drift away, carried easily by the breeze, no effort visible at all. He looked down at his own wings, not with disappointment this time, but with curiosity. "They're still learning," he said softly. He thought about everything he had seen in the garden: seeds waiting underground, roots growing before leaves, caterpillars changing where no one could see them. Growth, he realized, wasn't a race. "I'm not late," Pip whispered. "I'm just not finished yet." The thought settled inside him like a quiet promise. Pip took a deep breath and lifted into the air once more. He didn't soar as high as the others yet. He didn't spin as fast or land as smoothly. But he stayed up longer than before. He felt steadier, more confident, and that was enough for today, because growing doesn't happen all at once. Some changes happen on the outside, where everyone can see them. Others happen quietly on the inside, where no one notices at all. And every stage, every awkward, uncertain, unfinished stage matters. It is important to remember that living things grow in stages. Before wings come, there is growing. Before flying comes, there is becoming. This process is called metamorphosis. It means change happens step by step. Inside work comes before outside skills. And no stage is wasted or wrong. And just because you aren't good at something yet doesn't mean you won't be. It just means you're still becoming.